Chris, what is our first main topic today?
Topic number 1 comes from John. Different John. Hey there, John and crew. I just watched the first episode of the new Halo series and saw it was getting mixed and average reviews. As a hardcore fan of the games, I loved this episode. The story is different, but I think in a good way, and there are so many Easter eggs for us hardcore fans to enjoy as well, such as mention of Miranda keys and game sounds, etc. Do you guys have a favorite character or moment so far, and what did you guys think of it? Thanks, and bring on the filthy.
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, John, different John. All right, here's what I say. So I am not the target audience for Halo because I didn't play the game, right? I never did play Halo. I mean, I probably played it a little bit, but really I'm not a Halo player. I don't know a lot of the lore or the legends of it. The closest I ever followed Halo was back when Peter Jackson and Neil Blomkamp were trying to get a Halo movie off the ground, and that never actually worked and fell apart. So I went into it pretty cold, right? I saw the trailers. The first trailer didn't do much for me. The trailer they played at the Video Game Awards, yeah, that didn't do much for me. But the second trailer they played did. I'm like, all right. So I had the advantage of going in. I wasn't going to watch this and then comparing it to the video game in my head or whenever. I went in pretty clean. And I got to say, I liked it. I wasn't jumping up and down like I was with the first episode of Heroes or anything, but I liked it. What really impressed me, and we talked about this when we covered the first 2 episodes a couple of weeks ago, what really impressed me was the production value, like the visual effects, particularly in the first half of the first episode. There's this big combat and battle sequence where some pretty brutal things happen. And it looked great. For TV, it looked fantastic, I thought. Now, of course, one of the big hubbubs a lot of people online I saw was Master Chief takes his helmet off. And you know, my argument to that has been this. There's no reason he shouldn't take his helmet off. Like, we've talked about this before, but in Mandalorian, Mando had a narrative reason not to take his helmet off. That a part of his Mandalorian code is you do not take your helmet off. You do not let anybody else take the helmet off. Your helmet cannot be off around other people or else you're no longer Mandalorian, right? So there's a narrative reason there why he doesn't take it off. The only reason that I could tell, and I asked Halo players to let me know if I was wrong about this, and nobody's told me otherwise. The only reason people didn't want him to take his helmet off is just because he doesn't take it off in the game. There's no narrative reason. There's no why. Just because. Well, just because isn't a good enough reason, especially when you're coming into a different medium. Yeah. Now you're doing a live action narrative. So when he, as somebody who doesn't play the game, when he came in and took the helmet off, to me, I thought that humanized the character more. I felt more attached to the character. It worked for me. So do I think this episode was fantastic television? No. But it was good. And I enjoyed it. Now, prior to watching it, I had heard a lot of grumbling online that other people, because some other people saw it before we did, I heard a lot of grumbling, and I watched it, and I thought, this is pretty good. And so now when the actual first responses and reactions are coming out, they're decently positive. Right now, it's got a 61% with the critic rating, a 79% audience rating right now on Rotten Tomatoes, which, quite frankly, after hearing the grumbling that I've been hearing, is actually better than I thought it would be. Now, what's going to be really interesting to see how people feel about after episode 2, because episode 2 definitely has a different take, but we won't go into episode 2 here. And then I've only seen the first 2 episodes. I don't know where it goes for 3. But Ray, you watched the first 2 episodes with me. Let's just focus on episode 1.
Episode 1.
Remind us again what your thoughts of it were, and what do you think about the responses we're seeing to it so far?
I rewatched it again last night on an actual big screen TV, and I thought it was really good. I mean, like you said, the effects were kind of hit and miss in some scenes, but the next scene, the effects were great. So it didn't take me out of the episode. I think this show, like the hardcore Halo fans are gonna be divided on this. Me, I like that they're doing a different story because it makes me excited to see the next episode because I don't know where they're going.
Right.
And like, as much as I want to believe that there's millions of Halo fans that will love this show, really, the people who are going to keep the show alive are the people who don't play Halo.
Right. Yep.
If they could get them on board, this show will survive. And I could complain as much as I want about things that don't seem right to me on the show, but I'm just getting it, like, you know, taking it as they serve it. Like the writers not playing the game doesn't bother me. I like all the little nods they have from the game. And I guess we'll see how it is in the end. Like, I have a back pocket full of complaints that I am saving for if this turns out to be a turd,
right.
Like in the end, right?
Okay.
But I don't do that option. I don't, whatever. But I'm on board for the next episode. Let's just see how it goes. Like, I don't mind that it doesn't follow the game. I'm fine with it. Like, I want to be attached to this Master Chief.
Right.
And that's where I want to find myself, but we'll see. It's still too early.
Rob, I don't know. Did you have a chance to catch this
I
yet?
haven't seen it yet, but I did play the first Halo when it first came out. When I had a first generation Xbox, and what I'm looking for. I like the trailer, like you, the second trailer, quite a bit. I would just like to see a great science fiction TV series. There's a lot of really interesting science fiction concepts that are in this game, and I would like to see those developed. I mean, obviously, Halo is all about the combat gameplay. I mean, I wasn't playing the first iteration of Halo because the story's cool and the myths of the lore and all that's good, but it was the gameplay that was so cool when that game first came out. I mean, that's what I always liked about it, the design work, and it was just fun. It was fun to play.
What was the name of they're not called Marines, they're called what?
Well, Spartans.
Spartans,
Yeah.
that's the word.
I uploaded a pic of his group of Spartans. I don't know if you have it, but
Yeah, I just had it on screen there. I'll bring it
what
up
I
again.
really liked, what I really like when I was watching it last night was how he directs these Spartans. Each of these Spartans aren't lower than Master Chief. They are each like specialized in their own thing, like the big
Right.
guy.
Yeah.
And then the sniper, if you notice, I don't know if I'm looking too much into it, but his armor, if you look at their shoulder pads, his armor is a little bit higher on the shoulders. And I take that to because he's sniping, and covering his face. So I like that they have those little things in there. I enjoy this team. I want them. I don't want any of them to die. I just want Master Chief to command this team. I think it's good. I think the show is good.
Chris, I know you haven't had a chance to see this yet at all, but do you have an anticipation level for this, or is this one that's really not on your radar right now?
No, I'm excited about this. My best friend who's in the chat, Megan, she is obsessed with Halo. She's gone to Halo conventions and stuff. She is my go-to for Halo, along with Ray here.
Why is she my best friend then too?
Oh my gosh, Megan,
Why
come be
is
best
she
friends with
my
us.
best friend?
So she'll come visit. We'll hang out, right? It'll be great. You guys can geek out. So I'm very excited because she's given it the seal of approval too. So I've got 2 yeses for it, and it makes me want to watch it. Plus, I love Pablo Schreiber. I think he's such a wonderful actor. His work at American Gods was so incredible. I love anything he does, so I'm really excited to see it. And I'm glad he takes off his mask. When people were complaining about that, I was like, it's not the Halo-Lorian. What are you talking about? Why are we mad
Halo-Lorian.
about it?
Well, and also, I mean,
I-
there was a practical reason. Back when the game was first conceived, a human face was a lot more difficult to do than cool armor,
Right.
and that
Exactly.
cool helmet.
That's incredibly angular.
Yeah, I mean, so the fact that he takes off his helmet, of course, on a dramatic TV show, you want to like Master Chief. You don't want him to be some faceless automaton.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and you can make that work. Mandalorian is an example of that. But again, Mandalorian had a very important narrative reason that had to be, as opposed to this where there really
I
isn't
mean, it
one.
was a game developer reason why he never
Yeah.
took off
Well,
his helmets.
All right, guys. Question is for you. What do you think about this? The reactions from coming out from Halo are better than I thought they would be, especially when you hear the initial rumbling. I personally liked the first episode. Have you guys had a chance to see it? If so, what do you guys think? Jump on down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. We want to thank the sponsor of today's video, MeUndies. What's something you look forward to waking up to every morning? Is it coffee, your pet? Maybe it's the face of someone you love. Well, MeUndies wants to add to that list. Start your mornings with your favorite underwear. And not just any underwear, but ridiculously soft undies with ridiculous prints that make picking out underwear actually fun. Because MeUndies makes the softest fabrics you've ever put on your body. So you can sit on your couch all day or go out and live your comfiest life. Once you try their undies, socks, bralettes, and longwear, you will never go back. Choose from a range of limited edition prints and colors and sizes that go from extra small all the way up to 4XL. You can also sign up for their free to join MeUndies membership, where you get a monthly subscription that sends new styles right to your door. Plus, enjoy discounted pricing, free shipping, and exclusive exclusive early access to new launches. And listen, MeUndies has a great offer for my listeners. For any first-time purchasers, you get 15% off and free shipping. MeUndies also gives you this promise. If you're not satisfied with any product for any reason, you can return your order for a full refund within 45 days. To get your 15% off your first order and free shipping, just go to MeUndies.com/Campea. That's MeUndies.com/Campea.